Hello everybody, this is Ramen1 and welcome to a new video of this channel. Today I will be showcasing a new tool assisted experience that I have been in the works for the past 2-3 months. It is going to be for Megaman X6 and a tweaked version of Megaman X6 rather, where we set the dash speed to be the maximum as you can set in a software that we use. More details in the description below. So basically your character will move way faster than usual, and it is pretty interesting. If you have been subscribed to the channel, you will know what I'm talking about. If no, go ahead and subscribe and press the like button. So we will be running on extreme difficulty as usual, and we will be using Unarmored X only, and this will be for all stages. Unarmored X basically means that we are only going to use Unarmored X, so no armors for him, no Falcon Armors, etc., and no Zero as well. And this is pretty interesting in general. As you can see, we also have tweaked the intro stage, so we will begin with Unarmored X. So basically we disable the Falcon Armor, which is what we normally have in this stage. What differences does bring Unarmored X compared to Falcon Armor, for example? A pretty big difference, to be honest. The first one is that we don't have any air mobility, so we don't have air dash or anything that we can do on air. We don't have we can charge weapons. We only can charge the S buster. We take way more damage because we don't have like a proper armor, and we consume more weapon energy than usual. So each one of these features are part of the Falcon Armor, and since we have Unarmored X, we don't have those. Also, you are not intended to be in this stage with Unarmored X, and that is why we do way more damage than Falcon Armor. Since the developers thought that since you are normally not going to be in this stage as Unarmored X, you do way more damage with him than with Falcon Armor. With Falcon Armor we do only 1 damage, and if I recall correctly, with Unarmored X we do like 5. So we do 5 times more damage than with Falcon Armor. This is the only benefit, well, one of the only benefits that you get by using Unarmored X. Through the fight, as you have seen, we also took damage. That was on purpose because the next fight, High Mass, it's similar to the Vile fight in Megaman X1, where we cannot win the fight. The only way to finish the fight is to either get enough damage or wait a certain period of time. And as you will see, we will right away jump up to him to get damage and then end the fight. We will also be doing all stages, so we will beat each 8 of the the 8 Maverick bosses that normally you have to beat to actually get to the gate stages. And yeah, that's mostly it. I have been really happy with the results of this experiment, to be honest, and yeah, really excited to talk to you about it. The first stage we are going to go is Rainy Tortoise. We are going to that stage because we want Hyper Dash. It is a part that is can equip later once we have enough Nightmare Souls, where we basically our dash speed is way higher than normal, and given that we already have like a really high dash speed, then we will have even more faster hits, to the point where the camera will always be behind basically. So that's why we get that first. We will unlock Zero, but that's because it is in the way, not because we actually will use it in the future. This stage, there is a gimmick. We have, as you can see, there's rain. This rain does damage like every few seconds, and the only way to stop it and to move forward is destroying these eyes. There are 4 eyes, and then at the end of the session there is a machine that generates the rain that you need to destroy. Once you destroy the machine, you can move forward in the stage. And as you can see, he's leaving the camera behind, and yeah, that introduces some glitches that you will see later in the run. So now we are going to the alternate area of this stage. There we will grab the Hyper Dash part, and then we will move ahead to the boss fight. We will go to destroy the eyes, like pretty normal fashion. And then once we destroy the machine, this is the reploy that has the part, and then we will get to the boss fight. We unlock Zero just because it is faster to kill Nightmare Zero than to die 5 times. because that's the, if you die 5 times or basically you run out of lives, then you will be able to go to the stage selection screen while keeping out everything that you got in the stage. So it is faster to just kill him. And yeah, just by doing this we unlock 0, but again we will not be using him. So with that out of the way, we will move ahead and start beating each of the main bosses one by one. We won't be equipping Hyperdash right now because we don't have like enough Unarmored souls. We will get them as we progress to the run. And so the next stage that we are going to visit is Infinity Mijinion. Mijinion. I had no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm sorry. I apologize for any my mispronunciation. But yeah, Mijinion. We picked this stage in particular because it is the shortest one, and given that it is the shortest one, having a hyperdash for this stage brings very little benefit. And also because if we leave the screen behind, we need to wait for the camera to catch up to actually move forward. So we will move ahead as per normal. Quickly reach out to the first part of the mid boss. So the way to kill the mid boss is you need to destroy this core, and the fastest way to do it is by having, at least right now, is to use charge Edge Buster and then use the saber and we will do that once again. And then just like that we are nearly finished the stage. Unfortunately we had to leave the reploids behind. And then just like that we are in the boss fight. The boss fight is, since we don't have any weapons or anything, the simplest way to actually do that is by using Charge Buster and the saber. By using the saber we stun him for more longer than usual, but given that it takes significant time to actually charge the buster, we alternate between those, as you can see. So then we can have enough time to actually charge our Edge Buster and then shooting him. Yeah, charging the Edge Buster does twice the damage as the saber, so that's why most likely we try to use that if possible. And yeah, just by defeating him we get his weapon, and then we get 200 Nightmare Souls. We need 500 to actually equip the first part. So this green orb represents 200 Nightmare Souls. And also we get the weapon, Ray Arrow, if I recall correctly. It is not a very strong weapon, so we barely use it. If we had the ability to charge, then it will be really useful because it does a lot of damage to all the bosses, but since we are on Unarmored X, we don't have that benefit here. The next stage that we are going to is Commander Yammark. His stage has as well very little benefit to have Hyperdash, and we want his weapon for the rest of the run, since it is basically it is the most useful weapons for Unarmored X. You will see in a more later why. So we start the stage as usual. We move ahead and destroy one platform enemy below, so we can move way faster. And then basically we just go away with the camera. It is hilarious in my opinion how you leave the camera behind. And just like that we are in the boss. We are going to use our arrow here. There is a glitch in his invincibility, but a very minor one actually, but we want to take advantage of that anyway. Basically when you use his weakness, even if you see him flashing, he is vulnerable, which is weird. So we alternate between high ray arrow and charge Edge Buster. And yeah, just like that we finish the boss. And we get his weapon, Yammark option, and 200 armor salt more. Yammark option is a very good weapon in reality. Basically, it summons three dragonflies that flies around you, and you can basically shoot with them while pressing the triangle button. While you can also charge and do damage with them just by touching enemies. So that is why it will be valuable, as you will see soon. Now we are going to Blaze Heatnix stage, and in this stage, basically you have to kill 5 bosses. That's basically the whole stage, practically speaking. And the faster way to do that is using a combination of Edge Buster and Saber. We also use Yammark option here and there, but in reality, you want to use the Saber most of the time because you don't have enough weapon energy to actually use Yammark on all of them. So you can see it's Buster, charge, and then Saber. I use one set of Yammark options there, and then we can move forward. Some little platforming here, and then we will get to another mid boss. Take a note of this B. This B helps a lot through the run, or through the stage rather, because it does damage to you, and it does significant less damage than other things in the whole stage. So this is one of the trickiest, but not the most trickiest one, because it is on air, and since it doesn't have any way to properly move on air, it difficults a little bit. We are going to the lower section because we want to grab Ultimate Buster. This is has Ultimate Buster, and we also get some HP from him because we will need him for this mid boss. And this is the trickiest one in reality. Basically, the gimmick with this mid boss is that he will go down and then he will rise up after some seconds. And since the lava is rising, we take damage from the B to actually do damage while being inside the lava. It's a pretty radical strategy. While it is exploding, we rise up, and then we quickly go to the next big boss, the final one. And this one is pretty cool. The strategy we use for this, we basically nearly get touched by them, but use the saber. Basically, the saber has a ridiculous hitbox, and we take advantage of that. Sometimes you even get to hit things that you don't want because of the hitbox. It's so massive. And then we get to the boss. We made sure that we had some Yammark options ammo for this boss fight, because the thing that we will be doing for this boss and the other ones is to spawn a Yammark option and while we charge. So we charge the bosser, and while we are charging, we use Yammark option to actually hit the boss. So just like before, Yammark option does half the damage that the charge S-Buster does. And with that we get I forgot this weapon's name. Mamba Blade. We get Mamba Blade, and we get 200 more Nightmare Souls. Now we have 600 Nightmare Souls, and then we can equip a Hyper Dash to Eds. Mamba Blade is not like a very useful weapon, but it has some use, as you will see later. We equip Hyper Dash, and we could equip Ultimate Buster by a glitch that there is with the part selection, but it will not be beneficial for this stage in particular. So that's why we do this stage now, and then after this we will equip Ultimate Buster. So the gimmick with this stage is that we have some laser and reflectors that we use to solve like a puzzle, and then that once we finish that, we can open a door that will allow us to move ahead. So as you can see, we hyper dash. We can leave the camera way behind just as soon as possible. But yeah, that's the main benefit of hyper dash in this stage, because otherwise you are being bottlenecked by these puzzle things. But yeah, we can just like that move to the boss. This is the second. Yeah, I believe this is the second short stage, or the first one, depending on how you compare Mijinion and this stage. But yeah, and the boss fight is similar. Once he throws both his clamps, we can do damage with using X-Buster and Yammark option. And yeah, just like that, we have a guard shell, and we also have 200 more nightmare souls. With this, we unlock the second part slot, so we can now equip Ultimate Buster without needing to use the glitch. And by the way, if you wonder, guard shell is completely useless. Not just for this round, in general it's completely useless. So Ultimate Buster, what Ultimate Buster does is allows you to only fire charge shots. So you can shoot a charge shot without needing to charge. Also, since we are using Unarmored X, we won't be able to use charged weapons even if you have this part equipped. It in particular has some benefits, but also has some weakness. I will be explaining this soon. And for this stage, since we are going to leave the camera behind, most of the obstacles are going to be left behind. So we are going to be stopped by that, and as you can see, the stage is glitched because the game doesn't expect you to actually move ahead so fast. We use Mamba Blade because it allows you to stay in air without falling for some time. In this puzzle, by the way, look how glitchy the ice blocks become once they fall down. So we will be using Mamba Blade soon to stay on air while the blocks are falling. This will basically allow us to beat this part faster. And yeah, just at the end we ran out of them. And yeah, we get to Wolfang. Wolfang is, since I need to explain something with Ultimate Buster. Ultimate Buster allows you to fire charge shots, right? But there is a period in between fire charge shots that you cannot use any weapon. So you have to wait like a full second to actually use a weapon between charge shots. So one way to reduce that spawn is by getting hit. If you get hit, you can shoot another shot right away. So use a combination of that. We use Yammark option as well. And yeah, just like that, we finish with Wolfang. This is our 5th stage, if I recall correctly. Yeah, we get 200 more nightmare souls, but that isn't relevant anymore. And we also get the ice block weapon. It is a weapon that basically allows you to create an ice block that you can jump from. And it has some glitch to it, but you will see it in effect later. By the way, this game is super glitchy. So if you haven't played around or see speedrun, you will see a lot of them. We are now going to the Rainy Tuteloi area. This time we will going to beat the boss. And you will see how quick we can basically beat each section in the whole stage. Another thing, when you leave the camera behind, enemies off screen won't be spawned until the camera catches up to them. So you can bypass them without any issue. But the only exception to that rule are the eyes for the rain and the rain machines. That is because as soon as the rain appears, they spawn right away. So we can destroy them off screen. And yeah, we get a really glitchy stage. We rescue that deploy because it has a part called weapon recovery. We'll be using it later. Okay, we got to the boss. This boss has another glitch. So normally you will see it has like 2 gems in his shell. You actually need to destroy these gems normally to actually do damage to him. But there is a glitch. If you jump across to the other side and you can hit him right away with destroying the gems. But if you also hit the shell, you actually can negate his invincibility. So you can quickly spawn Saber like I did, and you can do like a lot of damage in a short period of time, at least for Edge standards. We also get his weapon meteor rain. Very useless in general, so you barely will see it in this run. So we go now to Metal Shark player stage. This stage has like one gimmick. By the way, this is one of the stages that mostly everyone hates, because basically the gimmick of the stage is that there is a huge press that basically will fall down through the whole stage, and basically has the possibility of crushing you. And if you get crushed, you die, and you have to go way back to it. We normally use this robot that you can see here and mount it and leave it on the top of the stage so the press cannot go lower. But since we are moving so faster, it is irrelevant for this case, so we don't get it. We move to the second part. You will see some bloods. Those bloods can be escaped because if you are you leave the camera behind, you can just skip them. You can also, as you can see, the press also has some extensions. These extensions can be completely skipped if you are off screen. And to be fair, it is pretty difficult to actually skip them, even for a tool-assisted speedrun. We use the ice block to actually get damage and skip part of the extension. The extension can be skipped by using this glitch. The ice block glitch basically means that you shoot it and you leave like an ice block. If you the ice block becomes a solid object once it touches the ground. If you manage to get inside the block when it touches the ground, it will basically trigger invincibility to you, but it won't do damage. So you will get no damage, but we get invincibility frames. These invincibility frames can allow you to pass through solid objects. Not all of them, but some of them. And we are going to fight the boss now. And similar to before, a combination of charge buster and Yammark option, while also getting hit by the boss to shoot another charge shot right away. At the end, we will also use another ice block glitch. No, in this case, it's in the boss refight. Basically, by using the ice block, you can get hit by the ice block and then shoot another charge shot right away. So we use that, but more in the boss refights in the final stage. Spoiler alerts. Sorry for that. We get Metal Anchor. Metal Anchor is not a weapon that you normally use, but has some uses, as you will see. And then with that, we will go to the final stage of the main bosses. Yeah, to the Gronk Scaravich stage. We will basically skip the whole stage by using the ice block glitch. The ice block glitch, like I told you, you can get hit by it, and since you can get hit by it, you can skip the holograms of the totem poles that are through the stage. Normally, these totem poles will teleport you to another section, and once you beat that section, you will go back to where you were, and then you can move ahead. Well, you will see, we will spawn those. The first one we will skip by being off screen, and the second one and the other ones as well by using the ice block glitch. We get hit and then we can skip the totem pole. See, that is why there is no enemy in this whole section. So you actually normally cannot do that, but there's this glitch. So yeah, you can use it anymore now. Ground Scaravich is an interesting boss. It has a glitch in his vulnerability, and he will die like in a second. So basically, this invulnerability glitch is cancelled once he starts rolling back to the off-screen part, and once there, you can do damage basically each 2 frames. With this, we get Ground Dash, basically the most useless weapon of this whole game. You will only be seeing it whenever I want to show it off, but not like for actual usefulness. So with the 8 Maverick boss defeated, we can move to the gate stages. We also equipped the weapon recover, because since we consume way more energy than compared to the armors, we need it for one specific situation. So we start with the first of the final stages. We skip this dialogue by moving too fast, and then we use the ice block to actually move ahead. We use the weapon recover because we are short by just 1 ice block. We press start and change weapon to actually despawn the block, and just so we can then shoot another one right away. Another thing that I haven't explained is why you use the reason why you see me using the saber when jumping from walls. It is because it allows you to cancel the backward animation that it has. So it allows me to stick near to the wall when I jump from a wall. We get damage here to actually pass through the lava and get to the checkpoint. And yeah, in here we just mess around. We just need to wait for the camera to reach a certain vertical position. And just like that, we get to the boss of this stage. The boss in this stage is called Nightmare Mother. It is basically a Rainbow Devil homage. Basically 2 huge blocks with ice in it. To actually do damage, we need the ice to basically pop off the blocks, so we can then do damage. Otherwise, they are invincible. And we will use a combination of weapons here. We will use the Charge Buster, the Saber, Yammark option, and Metal Anchor. So we will use the Charge Buster and the Yammark option to actually do damage to both at the same time. And then Metal Anchor because that's the weakness of the boss. So it does more damage. So then we use finally a combination of Metal Anchor and Charge Buster. Now we will move to Gate 2 stage. Gate 2 are basically 2 stages in one. In the first half, you need to beat High Mass, and in the second half, you need to beat Gate itself. So We progress and leave the camera behind. By leaving the camera behind, we can skip some of the totem poles, but since we are on Unarmored X, we cannot skip this one in particular. So we need to destroy it and then move ahead, and then we will we'll jump above this totem pole to get crushed by these pillars and then move ahead. And just like that, reach high mats. The high mats boss fight in general are stupidly designed. So basically, you have to use Charge Buster to stun him. This will not do damage, but will basically freeze him for 2 seconds more or less, and then you use a weapon to actually do damage. But in this boss fight in particular, we can just destroy the shields, 4 of them to be precise, and then we can trigger his Berserk mode. His Berserk mode basically means that he will be always vulnerable and won't have like a stun animation that he normally has. So we can do damage using basically any weapon. All the weapons do the same damage in the normal. So we use most of them that we can. This is certainly one of the most annoying boss, not just for regular speedrunners or for general playthroughs, but also for two-assisted speedrun. And yeah, just like that, we will move to the second part of this stage to actually fight Gate himself. This part of the stage changes because it depends on who you are. If you are X, you have like an acid rain section that you need to clear up. If you are Zero, you need to beat a section with a press, similar to the Metal Shock player stage. And this is, without any question, way faster. And yeah, just like that, we will move to the final section where we will fight Gate. Gate is another stupid design where you actually cannot do damage to him at all with any weapon, without a charge buster or nothing. The only way to do damage is that he will throw some spheres. These spheres can be destroyed. Once destroyed, these spheres will spread out to the left and to the right. And if these particles hit him, that's what's going to do damage to him, like that. So we make sure that he throws his sphere as close as possible, so they are vulnerable once they stop moving. And once there, we use Magma Blade to destroy the entire way. That's the fastest way to actually destroy the spheres, with Unarmored X at least. Generally, for speedruns, this is the speedrun killer, because of how much RNG there is to this boss fight. But since we are two-assisted speedrun, we can manipulate luck by jumping a certain amount of time, so actually change what is going to be his behavior. And yeah, just like that, we will move to the final stages. Surprise, surprise, the final boss is Sigma. So they try to make us think it was Gate, but it was Sigma the whole time. What a surprise. So, in the final stage, as usual in Mega Man games, we will fight all 8 bosses again, one after another. And here we have to carefully manage our weapon energy. That is because we will be using Yammark option for basically all of them. Well, most of them, actually. So we move ahead, we wait for the camera a little bit so we can fall down. And then we will go to the first boss. It is Mijinion again. And for this, we will only be using Charge Buster. We won't use the Yammark option because we need it for the other bosses. And since this boss spread out clones and bubbles, it will basically waste most of our weapon energy of the Yammark option. We get hit by the bubbles and the laser because that doesn't do as much damage. To actually shoot again, we use Guard Shield. It's his weakness. This is the only time where this weapon is useful, because it does 8 damage to him. So basically double the S-boss damage. We also try to get hit as less as possible because we will get hit throughout the rest of of the boss fights. And we will fight Sheldon. Similar to before, we will use Commander Yammark option, sorry, and Charge Buster. We use a Metal Anchor once, that it is his weakness, and we use it again for the final blow. We move to the next boss. The next boss is Rainy Toothloi. Similar to before, we will use the Sea Saber to abuse his glitch. So again, if you hit his shell, you can cancel his invincibility basically. So we will jump to the other side and then use the saber a lot. We had to use Yammark option for 1 second because his missiles were going to damage us and we don't want the damage. So we move to the next boss. I believe this is round Scaravich. Yep. So similar before, we do damage, he will roll to his side, and then we abuse the glitch to actually kill him in a few seconds. This is Metal Shark player. So we will use Yammark option, Child Buster, we will get damage as well to actually to speed up the boss fight. So this is where we take most of the damage. Well, basically all the damage. We will use the ice block to actually shoot a Child Buster right away. It is funny, when you use Ice Burst, when you shoot it, while the ice block is being generated, you can shoot an Ice Buster shot, which is hilarious. I had no idea prior to this to assist the speedrun. So this is Blaze Heatnix. Similar to before, we will ensure he stick to the lower part, and then we use Yammark option and Charge Buster. Another ice burst to actually do the glitch and do another charge shot at the end. The reason why we only use it at the end is because basically the ice block sticks on screen for a lot of time, so you can only like do it once, and that's why we do it in the end. This Wolfang, and so and similar to before, Yammark option and Charge Buster, and an ice block glitch at the end to actually shoot another Charge Buster right away. Normally in a Tool Assisted speedrun you don't see like this move from him. This is basically the charge weapon that you use for his weapon. Where you dash, you create like ice spikes. Normally you don't see this because this boss is beaten like super fast, that you don't normally see it. And the last one of the main Mavericks is the Commander Yammark boss. We cannot use Yammark option here because it's his weapon. You cannot do damage with that weapon to him. So we will use a combination of Metal Anchor and Charge Buster. So the reason is that you shoot a Metal Anchor and then you can shoot a Charge Buster before the Metal Anchor does damage. If it does damage, then in the next cycle you can shoot another Charge Buster. And at the end, Ice Block, Ice Buster, Charge Shot combination. And with that out of the way, we move to the final part of the stage. Basically, by the way, you get refill all your HP and weapon energy for the second part of the stage. Basically, we will skip most of the enemies because we will move ahead of screen, and then we will get to Sigma. So this is Sigma. I call him Homeless Sigma. No offense to homeless people, but pretty hilarious to me why they went for this design. He just walks and shoot things occasionally. We use, as you can see, Yammark option and Char Buster. And yeah, Ice Block and another Char Buster at the end. And now we will face the final boss, which is Sigma 2. The only way to do damage to him is when he opens his mouth. We actually can do damage using basically any weapon. But we, in this particular case, we use the saber alone. The saber is the weapon that does the most damage in a short period of time. This boss also doesn't have like invincibility, so you can just like throw everything at him and he will take all the damage. So we move to the left part of the screen, so he does this attack where he allows us to just basically use the saber a lot when we get another hit, and then we shoot, keep using the saber him. And just like that, we basically finish the boss, we finish the game. In just 40 minutes, we beat the game with Unarmored X, a seriously nerfed version of X. But yeah, that's it. And hopefully you actually enjoyed this Tula City experience. This was like a new experience for me as a Tula City speedrunner for this game. This version of X basically brings new things that you normally don't see. So yeah, hopefully you love it as I love it making it. Enjoy and subscribe for more content like this. Give a like button and give a comment. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit the like button, make a comment below and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you also hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of my future videos.